Brian Tracy, the best motivational speaker and businessman. In this video, he will tell you how to solve any problems in life quickly.
As I said earlier, you're like the chef of the Michelin star chef of the personal development industry. And I think the one thing that's consistent with people who seek out personal development is problems. They have a problem and they want to solve it.
Every human being, all of life is the solving of problems.
So what's your recipe? What's the Godfather's Michelin star recipe for solving problems?
Well, we shared some ideas today. I am a fanatic on goal setting. Every person I've ever worked with who has gotten into the habit of writing their goals down has become successful. And when you set a goal, then you just say, basically, between me and the goal, just obstacles. And what are the obstacles? And we talked today about why aren't I already at my goal? And your first goal when you're younger is to earn a lot of money. Because if you earn a lot of money, it gives you freedom. It means you can do all the things that you want to do. You can have a car and socialize and travel and everything else. So you want to make a lot of money. And I say to my friends when I speak to them, I say, look, in life you have a certain amount of time to be here, and you can either have a lot of money or a little money. And I would suggest to you, if you have a choice, choose a lot. And the only thing between you and a lot is problems, obstacles, difficulties. So we said today, you ask, why aren't I already earning the amount of money that I want to earn? And what of all the things that are holding me back, what is the one factor that sets the speed? So when I do a sales seminar, for example, I'll say the one factor that sets the speed is the number of prospects that you talk to. If you talk to more people, you will find more qualified people, and more of those people will buy from you. And they'll get better, you'll get better and better and more confident, and then you'll talk to more and more people and make more and more sales, and your whole life will go on to an upward spiral. It's very simple. And if you don't, you won't. So the one thing that's holding you back, sometimes people say, well, I talk to a lot of people, but I'm still not making a lot of sales. Well, and this happened to me when I was 25, is I didn't know how to close a sale. I just began to stumble and mumble. And so I started to buy every book and article I could find on closing the sale. I began to practice and practice and practice. And my ability to sell increased my income 10 times in 1 year. Because I could close the sale. And then I began teaching other people to close the sale. And when I ran out of money and the economy went down the hill in 1981 and so on, I saw people were holding seminars. And so I put together a seminar called The Art of Closing the Sale. And I advertised it in the newspapers and as an evening seminar in a hotel ballroom. And 100 people came out and paid me $75 to learn how to close the sale, because they all had the same problem as well. And pretty soon companies were hiring me, and pretty soon companies were asking me to teach more about sales. And these people were making more money, and so I began to develop and design other seminars, and so on. So I found in 2001, most of the companies that were in serious trouble were in trouble because their founders, their owners, didn't really understand basic principles of business, marketing and sales and staff and hiring the right people. And so I put together seminars on those subjects. And many of my students went on to become wealthy. And as you mentioned before, I have 3 good friends who became billionaires as a result. And they'll tell you quite clearly, they told me, they told lots of people, is before I met Brian, basically they were nobodies from nowhere. And they changed their whole attitude, set down goals, made plans, and started to work on them. And today, they're billionaires. Billionaires. One is the 4th richest man in Canada. A second is one of the richest oligarchs in Russia. And a third is, I'm trying to think where it was, one of the MLM experts in the United States, where they just applied some of the principles we're talking to here and became better and better at what they were doing. So they got the same results, but faster and faster, and made more and more money. And then they held on to the money. They invested the money. They taught other people to become successful. And their income just went up and up and up. As we say, the first million is the hardest. And the second million is inevitable. So it takes you an enormous amount of work. The average, of course, is about 7 years to get your first million, maybe 10. That's after you have made a decision that, by gum, I am going to work my behind off to earn my first $1 million. Because you have to become a totally different human being, mentally, physically, psychologically, confidence, skills, knowledge, determination, courage, willingness to take chances. You have to become a totally different person before you can earn $1 million. But after that, you've got it all. You've got all the, it's like cooking a dish in the kitchen. You finally prepare a beautiful dish. Well, now you've got all the ingredients. You just do it again. And do it again.
Who have you been most influenced by in your life?
I've been asked that question many times, and I don't have an answer for it, because I have read 6,000 books.
Wow.
And maybe 100,000 articles written by people, and so it would have to be in a particular situation. You could say sales, but I've read every book, every top book written by salespeople. The first one almost always has the greatest effect on you because it opens your eyes up to so many things you never knew before. And after that, it compounds on itself. But time management, for example, is I'm one of the world's, maybe the world's most foremost authority on time management. My books are the best-selling on time management in the world in 46 languages.
Wow.
As we talked about earlier. And goal setting, it's the same thing. Speed reading. I realized that learning how to read quickly was important to me, so I did a full court press. I brought in one of the world's foremost experts to do super learning programs, including rapidly speeding up your ability to learn a subject. And then I wrote a program called Advanced Learning Systems. And it was 10 or 12 different approaches to rapid learning. Languages, names, people, numbers, and so on. And everybody took the course was just astonished at how good their memory became in one trial. And so then I moved on. So every subject I studied was a subject I was really interested in myself. I was selfish. I wanted to learn the subject because I believed it would help me. And as soon as it helped me, I wanted to teach it.